this is in review of October 29th, and I like to view these as paintings, so I do. Immortality does not give birth to wisdom. Only mortality gives birth to maturity. Living forever does not give birth to knowledge. Maybe living forever doesn't necessarily give birth to knowledge, but knowing our death can produce maturity. There are people in this world who have had enough adventures for several lifetimes. Famous and well-traveled people are the closest conception we have to immortals. These people have promoted themselves, and they remain in the minds and the hearts of many people long after they've died, which makes them immortal. Yet some of these people who have been everywhere are hopelessly immature. After all, whenever life became difficult for them, they just changed to a new path. And by luck, the new one was always rich and fruitful. Lucky them. And life became so easy that they just ended up taking more than one helping. They thought that everybody had the same opportunities as they have. Unfortunately, maturity only comes from the threat of mortality. As death approaches, the more love becomes willing. And success only comes from the threat of immortality. And without pressure, we would not plan or utilize wisdom or exercise care. We realize that we have only a short time to make an achievement. To prove that our existence was worthwhile, so we strive harder. An immortal could never conceive of such efforts. Why would they? It would be good if our religion's traditions gave us a foolproof way of going through life. After all, we live somewhat haphazardly. Our lives are tapestries, both woven of our mistakes and our successes. Religion doesn't always provide us with a meaningful pattern. We must make our own decisions the best way that we can, and as we mature, we see our way better. We are motivated by death, and we are frightened by failure. We have to make our peace with this mysterious, sometimes hostile world, and an immortal does not need to cope with any of this. But we mortals must, and we must do our best to strive to make a good show for ourselves. You make a good show for yourself. So that's the first half, and this is the second half of October the 29th. Nothing is meant to be, and there is no predestination. There is no predetermined fate. In old writings, the idea of predestination is strong, but the usage of them is, for the most part, metaphorical. People in the past used this to express feelings of affinity, like for a place or for a person. But nothing of the future is set. There is no cosmic puppeteer at work. We are solely responsible for our own actions. It is true that we can become marred in circumstances so strong that we can't imagine getting our way out of them, and so far-reaching that it can continue to have ramifications so far into the future. For example, if we construct our circumstances right for us, such as starting a group or an organization to help others, and that good will last for a long time. However, if we fall into debt and we don't do anything to help ourselves, then the bad feelings can last for a long time too. Yet both causes that have long-lasting results are because of our own doing. We've made the situation ourselves. We have created that situation through our own actions. And this is not destiny or fate. This is a casualty, a ramification, a consequence. Casualty is from the past. Casualty is from the past, and there is nothing that's acting from the future. Everything happens from the bottom up, not from the top down necessarily. There is no script and no pattern that you should be walking into. Everything has to be created, and we are the artists. Those who understand choose to have as few restrictions placed upon them as possible. And by completing each action, they minimize their casualty. And by living fully in the present, they absorb everything that life has to offer in the present, day by day. By understanding that there is no literal fate, predestination, or destiny, they keep the future as free and open as possible. They keep the future as free and open as possible. And that is truly the openness of life.